Here to do a quick little review of liquid green stuff. Liquid green stuff is supposedly been talked about as being this great save-all type stuff. So I picked up a bottle of it. I usually use Milliput since it waters down and you're able to do stuff. Now I've scraped some areas that were a bit rough on this model, and I'm going to use the liquid green stuff to attempt to fill some of the seams that were here and see just how well of a job that it does. So now I've identified all the major areas where I want to touch it up at. So I'm going to take a small angular head brush, a little cheapie that I have laying around. That's what I'm going to use to apply it. I don't know if you're supposed to shake this stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyways. Better safe than sorry. Now it's definitely not like paint, that's for sure. Very, 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 very thick, and it doesn't have a lid stop. So now it really is putty-like. So it's in some fashions it's like painting it on. In some fashions it's like you're kind of stuffing it in the hole as well. So definitely don't use a good brush. Don't overload the brush either, because it just kind of splotches on then. The way it's acting, you could probably build this up in layers too. You just gotta wait to dry between layers. So you could definitely target areas that you want to build up. Now I did do some preliminary testing. Basically I put a splotch of it on my finger. It did seem like it took about 15 minutes to start really drying. And even then it was still more putty-like than it was solid. But it was a thicker coat too, so with it being thinned down, it might take less time. I would say for sure it's going to take less time, but you never know until you try. Now, I know one thing that green stuff had a big negative against it was it wasn't really all that sandable. So I've heard this stuff is, so we will see if we can sand this stuff or not. Okay, we kind of flash forwarded a little bit, and I've pretty much finished up the green stuff work. I went and I mixed up a batch of Milliput as well. Milliput's another sculpting agent. Now, I will say that here's the bonuses for people who are used to using Milliput. Milliput, if you have a shaping knife, you can definitely get wider crevices a lot easier, or bigger bumps a lot easier than you can with the green stuff. I'm sure you probably could do it with the green stuff, but it's going to take more than one layer, and it's going to take time. Now, that being said, the liquid green stuff was a lot easier to, you could brush it on, which was really nice. For small little blemishes, it went on really, really well. It is water soluble, so you can mix it with water to thin it down if you want to. You can also, you clean your brush with water too with it. So it's really nice in that regards. I had absolutely no issues with the green stuff going on over the Milliput and vice versa. They seem to mix quite well. One wasn't flaking off and the other, anyway, they both stuck. The green stuff does seem to have a quicker drying time, which is nice, really nice. The Milliput, of course, that being said, was a lot slower to dry. So I don't think either one will replace the other, but they both definitely have their uses. I'm not going to say that the liquid green stuff is a product you have to have, because you can do a majority of the same stuff with Milliput, which a lot of the more hardcore people who have been around for a while already have in their toolbox. But if you just want to grab something or if you have an extra $4 laying around, I would say it is a pretty good investment, as it does have its own little uses. You don't have to mix a batch if you need just like a little spot, like, oops, I messed up this spot. I can, you just pull it, pull the tube out, grab your brush it on, and go against the grain, so to speak, and boom, it covers stuff up. Like, that was literally a scratch that was on the side. You can still see it where it kind of bubbles up a little bit, but it's not as noticeable. And I'm sure I could probably go over it again, even with a watered down version of this stuff, and get all of it filled. But I don't care, it's battle damage, so I just kind of did that to see how it does. See, and it's almost gone now. So not a replacement for Milliput, and Milliput's not a replacement for it. They're very similar, but overall I'm very pleased with how it went on, how everything seemed to go. I'll give it a solid B rating. B, because it's not something that's going to be required for you to have in your toolkit, but if you have it, it will definitely help you out. An A product is pretty much one of those you have to have, like a good paintbrush or a good razor knife or something like that. So overall, B, real strong B item. I definitely recommend it, especially if you're dealing with resins. I can see where it would have its uses. See if I can find one. A buddy of mine from England sent me some pieces, and yeah, see, there's just a little dab, brush it onto the resin piece. There's some little air bubbles here, brush it onto the resin piece, the little air bubbles disappear. And it's thin enough where it just slid right in and filled them up. So yeah, it's definitely, if you're dealing with fine cast, I can see why a lot of people are saying this stuff was made for fine cast, but it's also a pretty good surface. I could see it being a good surfacer for metal models as well. Metal models, a lot of them had to be surfaced if you wanted a competitive paint job on it, and I can see where this can be a surfacer as well. A lot of people use Milliput juice, which is this highly watered down Milliput, for a surfacer, so that can definitely be replaced by a watered down version of this stuff, so it definitely has its uses. I know some people are like, oh, GW's the evil machine. No, they actually made a pretty good product, and they usually, for the most part, make pretty good products. But like I said in the beginning, my name's Jin24. I am with the Models Workshop. If you need to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me at larrybkillian@gmail.com. Just look at the top of the screen, you'll see that. If you want to come and hang out on the boards and forums where I chill at, you can head over to www.heresy-online.net. You can see that on the bottom of the screen. If you want to see what's going on my painting table, feel free to swing by over to www.jin24.com. And of course, you already know modelsworkshop.com. You guys have a great day. Look forward from hearing some feedback. Get with me if there's something you want to see. I will talk to you later. Bye.